The soft, soothing chimes rang out, infuriating the HOA president. But little did she know, those wind chimes would soon become a powerful symbol of justice, a remarkable twist that would leave her reeling. Amelia gazed out the window, watching the wind chimes sway gently in the breeze. Their calming melodies had become a cherished part of her morning routine, a source of tranquility in her otherwise hectic life. But as she sipped her coffee, a sudden pounding on the door shattered the peaceful silence. Sighing, she opened the door to find Sharon, the HOA president, glaring at her with unbridled fury. "Your wind chimes are disrupting the neighborhood." Sharon spat, her face flushed with anger. "They're causing a disturbance, and I won't stand for it any longer." Amelia blinked in surprise. "But they're so soothing and peaceful. Surely they're not bothering anyone." Sharon's eyes narrowed. "That's where you're wrong. The entire block has been complaining. You have 24 hours to take them down, or will be forced to take legal action." Amelia's heart sank. She had spent months carefully selecting those wind chimes, finding the perfect set to complement the tranquil garden she had cultivated. They'd brought her such comfort, and the thought of removing them filled her with dread. "Please, Sharon, can't we find a compromise?" Amelia pleaded. "I'll try to angle them away from the street, or—" "No compromises," Sharon interrupted, her voice rising in pitch. "It's my way or the highway, Amelia. Those chimes are gone, or you'll be facing hefty fines and possible eviction." With that, Sharon turned on her heel and stormed off, leaving Amelia standing in the doorway, her coffee growing cold in her hand. Amelia slumped onto the couch, her mind racing. She couldn't bear the thought of losing her beloved wind chimes, but the threat of legal action was too ominous to ignore. She knew she had to find a way to appease the HOA, even if it meant sacrificing her cherished source of solace. As the day wore on, Amelia wrestled with her options. She considered moving the chimes to the backyard, but the breeze wouldn't carry the soothing tones the same way. She thought about negotiating with Sharon, but the HOA president's unbending demeanor made that an unlikely solution. Finally, an idea struck her. A glimmer of hope ignited in her chest as she set to work, determined to find a way to keep her wind chimes and make peace with her infuriated neighbors. The next morning, Amelia woke with a renewed sense of purpose. She had spent the night carefully crafting her plan, and she was determined to make it work. As the first chimes of her beloved wind chimes rang out, Amelia took a deep breath and stepped outside, clutching a folder of paperwork. She steeled herself for another confrontation with Sharon, but this time she was ready. Sure enough, the HOA president soon came marching down the street, her face twisted in a scowl. "I thought I made myself clear, Amelia," she growled. "Those chimes have to go." Amelia held up a hand. "Wait, Sharon, hear me out. I've come up with a solution that I think you'll find agreeable." Sharon eyed her skeptically, crossing her arms over her chest. "This better be good." Amelia opened the folder and began explaining her plan. "I've done some research, and it turns out that wind chimes can actually have therapeutic benefits. They can promote relaxation, reduce stress, and even improve sleep." Sharon's brow furrowed, but Amelia pressed on. "I'd like to turn my wind chimes into a sound healing exhibit for the neighborhood. I'll position them in my front yard, with an informational sign explaining the benefits. That way, everyone can enjoy the soothing tones and experience the calming effects for themselves." Sharon's expression softened slightly, and Amelia could see the gears turning in her mind. "And what happens if the complaints continue?" the HOA president asked. "If that's the case, then I'll remove the chimes," Amelia conceded. "But I truly believe this could be a wonderful way to bring the community together and promote wellness. It's a win-win for everyone." Sharon considered the proposal for a long moment, her fingers tapping against her arm. Finally, she let out a reluctant sigh. "All right, Amelia, I'll give it a try. But if I hear one more complaint, Those chimes are coming down. No exceptions. Amelia couldn't believe her luck. Thank you, Sharon. I promise. You won't regret this. With a nod, Sharon turned and walked away, leaving Amelia standing in her front yard, a triumphant smile spreading across her face. She had bought herself some time, and now she was determined to make the most of it. Over the next few days, Amelia worked tirelessly to transform her front yard into a tranquil sound-healing oasis. She carefully positioned the wind chimes, angling them to create a soothing, harmonious melody that would waft through the neighborhood. She researched the benefits of sound therapy, creating an informative sign that detailed the calming effects of the chimes. As Amelia put the finishing touches on her exhibit, she couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement and trepidation. Would the neighbors embrace this unexpected addition to the community, or would the complaints continue to pour in? On the morning of the grand opening, Amelia anxiously watched as the first few residents began to wander by, drawn in by the captivating melody of the wind chimes. To her delight, they slowed their pace, their expressions softening as they listened to the gentle tones. One by one, more neighbors stopped to admire the display, some even closing their eyes to fully immerse themselves in the experience. Amelia beamed with pride, her heart swelling with joy as she witnessed the calming effect of her creation. But just as she was beginning to relax, a familiar figure came striding down the sidewalk. Sharon, the ever-vigilant HOA president, approached with a frown on her face, her eyes narrowed in suspicion. "What's all this?" she demanded, gesturing to the wind chimes. Amelia took a deep breath, determined to remain calm and composed. "This is my sound healing exhibit, Sharon. I've done extensive research on the benefits of wind chimes, and I believe they can be a wonderful addition to our community." Sharon's brow furrowed as she listened to the chimes, her expression softening slightly. "It does seem quite peaceful," she admitted reluctantly. Seizing the opportunity, Amelia pressed on. "Exactly. Just imagine the positive impact this could have on our neighbors. The soothing tones can help reduce stress, improve sleep, and even boost overall well-being." Sharon opened her mouth as if to object, but then closed it again, a contemplative look on her face. Amelia held her breath, hoping that her plan had worked. After a long moment, Sharon let out a resigned sigh. "All right, Amelia, I'll give it a chance. But the first complaint, and those chimes are gone, understand?" Amelia nodded vigorously, a grateful smile spreading across her face. "Thank you, Sharon. I promise. You won't regret this." As the HOA president walked away, Amelia turned back to her exhibit, a newfound sense of determination coursing through her. She had won this round, but she knew that the battle was far from over. In the days that followed, Amelia's sound healing exhibit quickly became the talk of the neighborhood. Residents from all walks of life would pause in front of her home, drawn in by the soothing melodies of the wind chimes. Some would even linger for several minutes, closing their eyes and allowing the calming tones to wash over them. Amelia couldn't help but feel a sense of pride as she watched her neighbors experience the therapeutic benefits of her creation. She had been right all along. The wind chimes were not a nuisance, but a source of tranquility that could bring the community together. To Amelia's delight, the complaints had dried up entirely. Sharon, the once staunch opponent of the wind chimes, had even been spotted lingering near the exhibit, a contemplative expression on her face. One afternoon, as Amelia was tending to her garden, she noticed Sharon approaching. She braced herself for another confrontation, but to her surprise, the HOA president had a small smile on her face. "Amelia, I have to admit, this sound healing exhibit of yours has been a hit," Sharon said, her voice uncharacteristically warm. Amelia couldn't believe her ears. "Really? I'm so glad to hear that, Sharon. I was hoping it would bring some positivity to the neighborhood." Sharon nodded, her gaze fixed on the gently swaying wind chimes. "You know, I've been coming out here every day to listen to them. It's quite soothing, actually." Amelia felt a surge of hope. Could this be the beginning of a new understanding between them? I'm so glad you've been enjoying them, Amelia said, her voice filled with sincerity. I truly believe these chimes can have a profound impact on our community. Sharon's expression softened, and for a moment, Amelia caught a glimpse of the vulnerable, compassionate person beneath the stern exterior. You know, Amelia, Sharon began, her voice hesitant, I've been thinking a lot about this whole situation. Maybe I was a bit too quick to judge. Amelia's eyes widened in surprise. Sharon, No, let me finish, the HOA president interrupted, holding up a hand. I realize now that I was so focused on the rules and regulations that I didn't take the time to understand the potential benefits of your wind chimes. And for that, I apologize. Amelia felt a lump forming in her throat as she listened to Sharon's heartfelt words. She had never expected this kind of admission from the notoriously unyielding HOA president. Thank you, Sharon, Amelia said, her voice thick with emotion. I appreciate your apology, and I'm so grateful that you're willing to give this a chance. Sharon nodded, a newfound sense of understanding passing between them. Amelia realized in that moment that perhaps, just perhaps, a lasting truce could be forged between them. One built on mutual respect and a shared desire to create a better community. In the weeks that followed, Amelia's sound healing exhibit continued to captivate the neighborhood. More and more residents would stop by, drawn in by the soothing melodies of the wind chimes. Some would even bring their own lawn chairs, settling in for extended listening sessions, finding solace in the calming tones. Amelia couldn't help but feel a sense of pride as she watched her community embrace the exhibit. It was as if the wind chimes had become a unifying force, bringing people together in a shared experience of tranquility and wellness. One day, as Amelia was tending to her garden, she noticed a small group of residents gathered around the exhibit. They were engaged in animated conversation, their faces alight with excitement. Curious, Amelia approached the group and was surprised to find that they were discussing the possibility of expanding the sound healing exhibit. We've been talking, and we think this is such a wonderful idea, one of the residents, a friendly older woman named Evelyn, explained. What if we could turn it into a community-wide project? Amelia's eyes widened in surprise. A community-wide project, she echoed, her heart racing with a mix of excitement and trepidation. Evelyn nodded enthusiastically. Imagine it. We could add more wind chimes, create a dedicated meditation space, and even host sound healing workshops for the neighborhood. It could be a true oasis of tranquility right here in our own backyard. The other residents nodded in agreement, their faces filled with eager anticipation. Amelia felt a surge of joy, but also a twinge of doubt. Could she really take on such an ambitious endeavor? As if sensing her hesitation, Evelyn placed a gentle hand on Amelia's arm. We know it's a big undertaking, but we're all willing to pitch in and help. This is something we believe in, and we want to make it a reality. Amelia looked around at the eager faces, her heart swelling with emotion. These were her neighbors, her community, people who had once been at odds with her, but now shared a common vision for a more harmonious and healing environment. With a deep breath, Amelia nodded. Let's do it, she said, a determined smile spreading across her face. Together, we can turn this into something truly special. The residents erupted into cheers and congratulations, already buzzing with ideas and plans. Amelia watched, a newfound sense of purpose filling her. This was her chance to not only keep her beloved wind chimes, but to transform them into a beacon of hope and wellness for the entire neighborhood. Over the next few weeks, Amelia and her neighbors worked tirelessly to bring their vision for the expanded sound healing exhibit to life. They held community meetings, where residents enthusiastically shared their ideas and pledged their support. Evelyn, who had spearheaded the initiative, proved to be a tireless organizer, rallying the community and coordinating the various projects. She arranged for the donation of additional wind chimes, secured funding for a meditation pavilion, and even reached out to local wellness practitioners to lead workshops. As the plans took shape, Amelia couldn't help but feel a sense of awe and gratitude. The once divided neighborhood had come together, united by a shared passion for creating a tranquil oasis in the heart of their community. One day, as Amelia was overseeing the installation of the new wind chimes, she noticed a familiar figure approaching, Sharon, the HOA president. Amelia braced herself for another confrontation, but to her surprise, Sharon had a warm smile on her face. "Amelia, this is truly remarkable," Sharon said, her gaze sweeping over the growing exhibit. "I had no idea this project would become such a centerpiece for our community." Amelia felt a surge of relief and pride. "Thank you, Sharon. It's been a real labor of love, but the support from our neighbors has been overwhelming." Sharon nodded, her expression thoughtful. "You know, I have to admit, I was skeptical about this whole idea at first. But seeing how it's brought everyone together, and how much joy it's bringing to the community, well, I'm truly impressed." Amelia smiled, her heart swelling with gratitude. "I'm so glad you've come around, Sharon. This wouldn't have been possible without your support." The HOA president chuckled, a hint of amusement in her voice. "I suppose I owe you an apology for my initial reaction. You were right all along. These wind chimes are a true gift to our neighborhood." Amelia reached out and placed a hand on Sharon's arm, her eyes shining with emotion. "Sharon, thank you. I'm just grateful that we were able to find a way to make this work for everyone." The two women shared a moment of understanding, their once tense relationship having transformed into one of mutual respect and appreciation. Amelia knew that this was more than just a victory for her. It was a triumph for the entire community, a testament to the power of perseverance, compromise, and the shared desire for a more harmonious and peaceful existence. As the sound of the wind chimes filled the air, Amelia couldn't help but feel a sense of profound satisfaction. Her once reviled wind chimes had now become a beloved symbol of unity and wellness, a testament to the transformative power of creativity and community. The grand opening of the expanded sound healing exhibit was a resounding success, drawing in crowds of eager residents from across the neighborhood. Amelia watched with a beaming smile as people wandered through the meticulously curated space, marveling at the serene atmosphere and the soothing melodies of the wind chimes. As part of the festivities, local wellness practitioners led guided meditation sessions in the newly constructed meditation pavilion, guiding participants through deep breathing exercises and mindfulness practices. The response was overwhelmingly positive, with many participants reporting a profound sense of calm and relaxation. Amelia couldn't help but feel a swell of pride as she witnessed her community embracing the exhibit with such enthusiasm. The once contentious divide had been bridged, replaced by a shared sense of appreciation and a genuine desire to cultivate a more harmonious and wellness-focused environment. But just as Amelia was basking in the success of the event, she noticed a familiar figure approaching, Sharon, the HOA president. Amelia braced herself, unsure of what to expect, but to her surprise, Sharon's expression was one of genuine warmth and admiration. "Amelia, this is truly remarkable," Sharon said, her voice tinged with awe. "I had no idea this project would become such a centerpiece for our community." Amelia felt a surge of relief and pride. "Thank you, Sharon. It's been a labor of love, but the support from our neighbors has been overwhelming." Sharon nodded, her gaze sweeping over the bustling crowd. "You know, I have to admit, I was skeptical about this whole idea at first. But seeing how it's brought everyone together, and how much joy it's bringing to the community, well, I'm truly impressed." Amelia smiled, her heart swelling with gratitude. "I'm so glad you've come around, Sharon. This wouldn't have been possible without your support." The HOA president chuckled, a hint of amusement in her voice. "I suppose I owe you an apology for my initial reaction. You were right all along. These wind chimes are a true gift to our neighborhood." Amelia reached out and placed a hand on Sharon's arm, her eyes shining with emotion. "Sharon, thank you. I'm just grateful that we were able to find a way to make this work for everyone." The two women shared a moment of understanding, their once tense relationship having transformed into one of mutual respect and appreciation. Amelia knew that this was more than just a victory for her. It was a triumph for the entire community, a testament to the power of perseverance, compromise, and the shared desire for a more harmonious and peaceful existence. As the sound of the wind chimes filled the air, Amelia couldn't help but feel a sense of profound satisfaction. Her once reviled wind chimes had now become a beloved symbol of unity and wellness, a testament to the transformative power of creativity and community. In the weeks and months that followed, the sound healing exhibit became a beloved fixture in the neighborhood, drawing in visitors from far and wide. Amelia and her dedicated team of volunteers continued to expand the project, adding more wind chimes, installing a serene water feature, and hosting a wide range of wellness workshops and events. The once contentious relationship between Amelia and Sharon had blossomed into a genuine friendship, the two women working together to ensure the exhibit's continued success. Sharon, once the staunchest opponent of the wind chimes, had become one of the exhibit's most ardent supporters, actively promoting it to the wider community. Amelia marveled at the transformation, both within herself and her neighborhood. What had once been a source of conflict and stress had now become a beacon of unity, healing, and personal growth. The wind chimes, which had once threatened to tear the community apart, had now become a unifying force, bringing people together in a shared experience of tranquility and well-being. As Amelia stood in the center of the lush, meditative garden, surrounded by the soothing melodies of the wind chimes, she couldn't help but feel a profound sense of gratitude and accomplishment. This was more than just a personal victory. It was a triumph for the entire community, a testament to the power of persistence, creativity, and the willingness to embrace change. In the distance, Amelia could see her neighbors, some engaged in guided meditations, others simply sitting in quiet contemplation, basking in the calming presence of the wind chimes. She smiled, her heart swelling with joy and pride. This was her legacy, a gift to the community that would continue to bring peace, healing, and well-being for years to come. As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the exhibit, Amelia knew that her once reviled wind chimes had now become a symbol of something greater, a symbol of the transformative power of community, the resilience of the human spirit, and the beauty that can bloom when we are willing to open our hearts and minds to the unexpected.